BalconyTV.
Welcome to Balcony TV Austin. I'm Stephanie. We have a very special reading from Julie Choffel today. She's a Connecticut poet. Julie, what is your book called that you're going to be reading from?
It's called The Hello Delay, and it came out just this past March.
Great. So. Okay, well, whenever you're ready.
Great, thanks. So I'll be reading 3 poems from the book. The first one is called Part Golden, Part Hidden. Forage my language, partner. Forsythia is tired of poetry. I am full of my own idealized forms. That's why I could never grow anything up north. Schizandra berry and bitter melon salad and other people's goods. Go on your own limb like you want it so bad and no one gives it up or looks you in the eye. And if you were disguised as a pile of weeds, if you were exotic, but the forces of nature aren't soliloquies. Betty went down there, well, she did, and she didn't. And the murmuring delicacies at the end of statements or scenery never complete what they set out to say. Never mend the raiment while it's being worn, being and worn. And these soft verbs and accessories, like a footbridge caught on its foot, please dangle at your own leisure. Please, this train is gone. Please, jumping will shift your location just so. Think in terms of. And my leisure is unhemmed, and I'm going to be the next big gardener. Don't ask for plans, for rhythm. Ask where the living is. Thanks. So the second one is called The Debriefing. The sound was shabby with age. My family had gone home. You asked me to see the fish out of the water and other acts of kindness and other acts. Where I saw it flapping in the wind, I threw it into air that was carrying on. When I heard changing its rhythm, where the thing stalled its dying, where nothing just died in the stale sun, in the gallery-facing windows. She was a silverfish, while all gold ones are solemn. And how the whereabouts had more sensitivity to direction than they, when each life was meaningful, in grape-like cluster, with the qualities of a lapse and unsudden drift. Ascent got too far connotated. To say summer is coming, to say mother is keening, with all possible others, for to bring heavier pleasure to the table. Laying down the cloth, give your hands to the gods, give your hands unlike X. So many ways of not knowing what. There is not a word, knowing what words it isn't yet, selected like everything in brevity. So this last one is called If Everyone Came to Me. And how I might feed them. Would we invent a dinner, improv a sleepover? If everyone awoke for breakfast and everyone had an orange, this coming too. If everyone dove into a river when the siren goes off. If, once wedded, we appeared in the vicinity of that which we marry, grew all flowers bigger than dahlias, and built all effects out of these. And once out of flowers used fake ones, sanction the struggle between the two, and watch them battle it out. And when the nightingale comes to our playing of its music, and when it turns its back to everyone and shatters into 10,000 shards of nightingale, and when we turn ourselves over, do we receive these shards?
Thanks so much, Julie. So the Hello Delay, that's an interesting name. Where did it come from?
Yeah, the title of the book comes from my interest in language and how we communicate to one another. I'm really interested in the role of language in just all of our relationships with strangers, that we see on the street, our relationships to the people we know and love most. And I'm really I was thinking about, how we greet each other and how we hear each other and how our expectations affect what we think we mean, when we're listening to one another. I'm really interested in how, what we understand and what we don't understand affects. And so I really like, that idea, that play with abstraction and expectation to kind of hear something unexpected and see what we can make of it.
Right. So you said earlier that you gravitate more writing about community, and what else inspires you?
Definitely community and people, just kind of everyday life that I see around me too. I'm really interested in how people treat each other, whether it's on a community scale or just a one-to-one scale, and what affects those interactions, and kind of how, I guess, of course, poetry is not what's affecting those interactions for most people, but language is, and meaning is, and expectation, and so, I'm really interested in, how language just influences our everyday thoughts and our everyday experiences with each other.
It's really exciting that you just released your first book. How long have you been writing poetry?
I would say most of my life, although probably, only with seriousness just in the past.
So that's a long time coming.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, when I was younger, I was writing, silly, kind of things. And then, there were the angry ex-boyfriend poems of, high school and so on. And everybody kind of dabbles in. But I think, I started taking it very seriously maybe in my early 20s, mid 20s. And, so I've been writing pretty seriously for, I'd say, 10 or 12 years.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Can we find out more about you anywhere online?
Yeah, I'm working on a website now that's not ready quite yet, but I do have a Facebook page for the book that is just under the Hello delay. And so you can find announcements, readings, and more information about the book there. Great.
Well, thank you so much, Julie, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Catch you next time on Balcony TV Austin.
BalconyTV.